Reading aloud Christmas stories in your home this year is going to change people's lives. It really is. Perhaps especially the lives of those that you love most. I've got 3 tips for you to help you do it. But before I give you those tips, just a quick word on why. Why? Because it's harder and harder for us these days to find ways to have rich activities, the kind of meaningful activities where we're really present together. They're so central in life. That's part of the challenge of our day. There's so many things, especially in our homes, that are kind of tearing us away, and our technological distractions, and our habits, especially in the young people, but not only in the young people. It makes it harder for us to just be together and have these kind of activities. So we need to be intentional about it. We need to focus on making them happen. I think reading aloud is something, it's kind of right there to hand, It's still going to take work, absolutely, but it's a little bit more in our reach, I think, than some of those other kind of activities. Well, let's just start to have a good conversation. That's harder to know where to start. About what? But reading aloud, you just kind of grab that book and you can go ahead and get started. My first tip. Someone's got to take the lead. Hey, this fits with, we need to be intentional. It's not going to just happen. So it's going to take a little bit of setting up, a little bit of kind of structuring. It's not going to be phony. We're going to do our best to have it not be phony because it's coming from a real intention. It's coming from our heart, so it's not going to be phony. But someone kind of takes the lead and says, hey, everybody, let's gather together. Let's do this. I think it's especially good and helpful when the man of the household is willing to do that. It just tends to make those things happen in a way where people are more maybe going to kind of tune in. Oh, wow, kind of dad wants to do this. So if you're not dad, you can go and encourage your husband or your father. Perhaps, hey, this is something important. Would you be willing to take the lead? And let's do this. If there's not dad or husband around to do that, someone else can take the lead. Anyone can take the lead and say, this is something important. Let's go and do this. My second tip, place matters. Right? The context, getting together as humans, the space and the feel always makes a difference. Look, I'm telling you this right from the chair. I've tried this many times. Doesn't always work perfectly, but here's a space we've kind of tried to design. I mean, look, there's the fire. You put a fire in the fireplace. People in general, they want to come, they want to gather around. We kind of throw out some pillows here and say, hey, try to make this comfortable. Try to have a situation where we're in reasonable proximity. We're going to be able to hear one another. Some place where you're already kind of starting to feel good a little bit. Okay, this is a good place to get together and read. Ideally, fireplace is super. You don't have a fireplace? Light a couple candles, or you turn the lights down. Little bit of decoration, a little bit of setting up. Attention to those details can really make a difference. My final tip: you're going to have to find some stories that fit. They're going to work. All right. This isn't always that easy. One thing that helps is right now we're talking about Christmas. That's why I'm particularly recommending, hey, this time of year, this is the time to do it. There's lots of great Christmas stories. Think Charles Dickens, A Christmas Carol. There's even a shortened version of it. The full version, you probably have to sit a couple times. All right, so you have to think about that. That's part of being intentional. Plan it through. Maybe you start with something shorter. Are there just even those picture books that you remember reading out loud or as a child, or you've read to your children, you had read to you? Maybe sometimes even that is something that the whole group will enjoy doing again. If you don't have any of those on hand, my wife at Sophia's Corner, you can find the link below, has made a list of our favorite things, our favorite stories. And so you can go out there, you can grab some of those books, grab some of those stories. Another thing I've done, if this would be helpful for you, I've recorded myself reading some of our favorite stories out loud. So you can go to Spotify and actually listen to that. There's nothing wrong with get some really great storyteller out there that you can download and listen. Nothing wrong with having to listen to someone else do it. It's a way of getting you jump started. Ultimately, love to see you be able to do it yourself. This is something that is in our reach. And I just want to particularly suggest at this time of year, when else to do it but Christmas? Christmas is a time for being together in this rich kind of way, and it especially lends itself to the stories that unite us, in that in that way that's so unique, reminding us that our life too is a story and part of an amazing story. And somehow that can come together so powerfully when we read aloud at Christmas. I hope you have a Merry Christmas.